Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the NUS Admissions Sharing webinar. I'm Jia and I will be your MC for today. Thank you for taking time to join us. The sharing you will hear this morning will be presented by the Dean of Admissions, Professor Goh Se Song. After his presentation, there will be a Q&A segment with Prof. Goh and two NUS students. If you have any questions, we would greatly appreciate if you could please write them down in the Q&A tab below, and we will answer them towards the end of this webinar. Thank you for your patience. Now let's begin the webinar. Professor Goh Se Song is the Dean of Admissions at the National University of Singapore NUS, a mathematician by training. He received his bachelor's honours degree from the University of Oxford in 1988 and his master and PhD degrees from the University of Michigan, Ann Arbor in 1990 and 1992 respectively. He joined NUS Department of Mathematics in 1994. He is highly passionate about education and has received numerous teaching awards, including the University Outstanding Educator Award in 2009. His research interests are on the theory and applications of wavelets, approximation theory, and harmonic analysis. He also participates in interdisciplinary research involving the practical use of mathematics. May I now invite Prof. Goh to share about the NUS experience, important considerations when selecting your degree program, global opportunities, as well as the process and timeline of admissions application. Prof. Goh, please.
Thank you, Jia. A very good morning to all of you, and a very warm welcome to NUS. And I'm very happy to have the opportunity to speak to all of you this morning. And let me get my slides up, and then we'll get going. Okay, very good. And while I'm speaking, feel free to type your questions in the Q&A tab, and feel free to use the emoji to show your reaction about certain topics that's of greater interest to you. And I'll focus more on those later on as we go along in the webinar. And we have a team of very hardworking colleagues behind the scene that will type the answers to their questions that you have posted as well. Okay, so I believe that all of you now is at a very important juncture of your life, the next step of your education. And at this moment, many of you will be thinking about what should I study at the university? Where should I go to which university should I go for my university education? And to begin with, let me just highlight the paradigm shift in university education nowadays. University education is no longer just a paper qualification. It's no longer just an accumulation of knowledge. And instead, university education, you will still get what you have in the old days, disciplinary knowledge. That is a given. Then at the same time, will also train you on future-ready skills. And most importantly, at the university, will help you to integrate your disciplinary knowledge and your future-ready skills together. And of course, as you all know, as the universities evolve nowadays, the university education evolve nowadays, the pedagogies that we use in the delivery of classes has changed as well. It can be very innovative. We will still have our traditional lecture tutorial system. We have seminar style learning. We have small class learning. We also have hybrid of online and face-to-face learning under the flipped classroom kind of setup. So all these are possible, and we do believe that having a wide variety of learning opportunities, learning style, it will develop students better. At the same time, many of you have heard that interdisciplinary learning is very important. There will be interdisciplinary learning opportunities. We want our students to have global perspective. There's global learning opportunities as well. At the end of the day, most likely, your first job will be related to what you study at the university. Career preparation, internship opportunities. These are some of the things that are incorporated into a modern university education. Then let me try to answer that question that many of you are bugging, that is bothering you, that you're actively thinking about. What are my considerations in choosing a degree program? Now, to answer that question, let me ask you two questions back in return. What is your passion? What is your aptitude? Passion and aptitude are two very important attributes that you should take into account when you choose the degree program. If you're passionate about something, most likely you're good at it. If you're good at something, most likely you want to learn more. So these two things go hand in hand. And like I said just now, your first job will be likely to be related to what you study at the university. You want to go to your first job with your passion, with your aptitude, so that you look forward going to job after your graduation. And at the university will help you, will incorporate disciplinary knowledge and future ready skills to enrich your learning. And welcome to the NUS experience again. Let me give you a brief overview of NUS before we go through the specific details. Now, in 2024, in the QS World University Ranking, it was NUS for the first time in history ended up as top 10 in the world. We are very encouraged and thrilled by this recognition, and we are very happy to say that in 2025 and 2026 ranking, 3 times in a row, we will continue to be ranked number 8 in the world. We are a research-intensive, comprehensive university. Every year, we take in more than 7,000 undergraduate students. And because of our size, we're able to offer our students a wide range of bachelor degree programs. We have more than 60 different bachelor's degree programs. And again, because of our size, we have a huge student community. We have more than 200 clubs and society and interest group. And of course, when you come to NUS, we want our students not just having the academics, we want to have a wonderful student life. At the same time, we want to bring to our students global exposure. We have more than 300 partner universities, 350 partner universities in over 40 countries that you can spend one semester or go for their summer and winter programs to get a global exposure. And we take the employment of students very seriously. We prepare our students for employment, and that's why in terms of global employability, NUS is consistently within top 10 in the world. And some of you may be wondering, what are the subjects that NUS is strong in? So there is a separate ranking called the QS World University Ranking by subject. The latest edition of this, we had 22 subjects in global top 10. That was the highest numbers that we've ever gotten. And among the 22 subjects, you notice that it's well spread out across our discipline. Quite a number of our engineering disciplines are within top 10. Some of our science disciplines are also within top 10, and computing disciplines we have quite a number within top 10. But it doesn't mean that we are only good in the STEM discipline. In terms of a business school, like for example, marketing and business and management studies, we are within top 10 in the world. In terms of humanities, like geography is ranked number 6, and linguistic, and we again is within top 10. So as a comprehensive university, you notice that the strength of NUS, the strength of the subjects of NUS are well spread out across our various faculties and colleges. And if you extend the list of global top 10 to global top 20, we have a total of 36 subjects. So essentially, most of our subjects are all covered within the global top 20. And let me tell you a little bit more about the NUS stories. Now, some of you may notice the small little logo on the top right-hand corner of the screen, NUS 120. In 2025, we celebrated our 120th anniversary. We started with a humble beginning in 1905. NUS is Singapore's first and largest university now. We've taught generations of engineers, scientists, doctors, lawyers, and so on and so forth. And being a research-intensive university, our research impacts lives as well, with multiple peaks of excellence, not just within the disciplinary, individual disciplines, but also in interdisciplinary research. And if you ask me, how can I summarize the NUS education? Let me summarize the NUS education by the following 3 C's. First C, customizable. Second C, challenging. Third C, current. How you're going to make it work? We leave it to you. That's entirely up to you. And let me give you a quick overview about the undergraduate degree programs that we offer. Being a comprehensive university, you notice that our degree programs spans from humanities and sciences, engineering, business, computing, all the way to the professional schools like medicine, dentistry, and law. Let me walk you through quickly. Now, if you're interested in humanities and sciences, you can actually apply for as one of the 8 choices on the application form that you can indicate the Humanities and Sciences Common Admission Program. What is the meaning of this Common Admission Program, which I've color-coded in purple? That means if you're admitted to the Common Admission Humanities and Sciences Program, you can choose any of the majors underneath it. It could be any of those majors that have color-coded in purple in arts and social sciences, or those color-coded in purple in science. And you can choose any of them. And on the offer letter, we'll indicate your preferred major. That is the university's commitment to you. But after you're admitted or after one semester, you change your mind, you want to change from one major to the other, we will let you do it. Just at the computer system, no further selection. And this gives students tremendous flexibility. This gives students the ability to explore and then come to exactly what they are looking for. So we commit to our students, and at the same time, we let students have the flexibility. Now, there are other majors in the College of Humanities and Sciences that are what we call a smaller program, direct admission. So these are choices on the application forms, and you can apply directly, like food science and technology, pharmaceutical science, PPE, and this year in 2026 admission, we have a new cross-disciplinary major called Geospatial Intelligence that marries geography with computing. And if you're interested in design engineering, you can apply directly to some of the design majors like architecture, industrial design, landscape architecture. But if you're interested in engineering, some of you may be wondering, how come there's only one choice of engineering? That is a choice under a common admission engineering program. And same principle like in College of Humanities and Sciences, if you're in the engineering program, you can choose any of these engineering majors that have color-coded in red. No further selection. And you can change your major within the first 4 semesters. You notice that we actually have a wide range of engineering majors. Electrical engineering, mechanical engineering. We have modern topics like biomedical engineering. And last year in 2025, we launched a new engineering majors called robotics and machine intelligence. All these are available for you. There's another major called computer engineering that is jointly offered by College of Design Engineering and School of Computing. That is a direct admission program. Talking about School of Computing, they have several different majors, and for artificial intelligence and computer science is under a common computer science admission framework, and those is color-coded in pink. And artificial intelligence is again a new major that we started last year. And our business school actually goes full-fledged on the common admission framework. You only need to indicate business administration. And the moment you're in, there are 9 different majors that you can choose from and no further selection. If you like finance, if you like accountancy, this will be available for you. And then, of course, we have other professional schools like medicine, dentistry, law. We also have a music school. And if you're interested in healthcare, you can apply for pharmacy or nursing. And let me explain to you the hallmarks of an NUS education. Typically, for NUS education, it will take 4 years. And for 4 years, but of course, for polytechnic students, there is an advanced placement credit that we will recognize, will give you half a year or 1 semester of advanced placement credit for polytechnic students. And among that 4 years of NUS education, then you will study a total of 40 courses. These 40 courses can be split into 3 baskets. So typically 1 year, 10 courses on average. And you split into 3 baskets. The first basket is what we call a common curriculum. It's 10 to 13 courses. Now, our common curriculum is tailor-made for that particular faculty. College of Humanities and Sciences has one common curriculum. College of Design and Engineering has another set that's suitable for design engineering. So typically it's 10 to 13 courses. Major requirements, 15 to 20 courses. 15 courses for some of the faculties, like those in College of Humanities and Sciences, and then like School of Computing and the College of Design and Engineering, major requirements is 20 courses. Now, for some of you may say that, I am very passionate about certain topic, but even 10 to 20 courses is less than half of what we have for the total number of courses. How can I get more specialized knowledge? That was again our design. We have 10 to 12 courses under unrestricted electives. This gives students full flexibility. If a student wants to deepen the expertise in a major, they can take everything under unrestricted electives that is related to the major. Then this student will have, as much as 27 or even 30 courses that is within that discipline. So students can go deep. But some students aspire to do a double major, wanted to do a minor. We allow that as well. And this also gives us opportunity or students opportunity to do interdisciplinary learning. You learn beyond your home faculty and you can incorporate experiential learning inside your NUS education. And let me illustrate further about this flexible and multiple pathway. Suppose that we have a student interested in engineering. He got into the Engineering Common Admission program. The student is very interested in robotics and machine intelligence, our new majors that incorporates AI into the learning. And in this case, the student will do the common curriculum for the College of Design Engineering, do a 15 courses on robotics, 20 courses on robotics and machine intelligence. There's a balance of 10 courses of unrestricted electives. The student can explore anything they desire. Go and do a humanities course, do a business course, do a science course, no problem. Then the student will graduate with a single major. And on the other hand, if the student is very passionate about robotics and machine intelligence, he wants to know more about that, he can use the unrestricted elective space and take entirely on robotics and machine intelligence or related courses in, let's say, mechanical engineering. So the student will have a deep knowledge about robotics and machine intelligence, and he will graduate with a single major. But some students will say, I want to do a second major. Now, robotics and machine intelligence, had the foundation on AI. AI is actually built on data, built on big data. So the student realized that he should actually have a good knowledge and foundation about data analytics. Data analytics is offered by the Faculty of Science in the College of Humanities and Sciences. No problem, as a comprehensive university, the student can go over to the Faculty of Science and do a second major, 10 courses on data analytics. Student will graduate with a double major. On the other hand, the student feels that he has enough knowledge about data analytics. Maybe he doesn't have to do a second major. Can he do 5 courses instead as a minor? The answer is yes. Then the student will have an extra space of 5 courses and can take some of these courses that he always wanted to take, something in Chinese studies, something about humanities. He can do that. Then this is what we call a major-minor combination. There's nothing to stop the student from wanting to do more than one minor. The student, after studying robotics and machine intelligence, then the student do a minor in data analytics and start to have business plan. So he can always go to the NUS Business School and do a minor in entrepreneurship. So this is still under the framework of major and minor combination. So you can see that we allow our students to go beyond a single degree. They can do a double major, they can do a minor, and if you do 2 sets of the primary major requirements, that can even be a double degree. And we also offer joint degrees between NUS and our partner university, or some students go for a concurrent degree, that you study a bachelor degree and a master degree concurrently. And what other possible enhancement? We want to give students maximum choice. We have our undergraduate honors college of NUS called NUS College. This is the first honors college in Singapore that students will still be in their respective majors in their respective home faculty. You can still do a major in robotics and machine intelligence under the College of Design and Engineering. But the student can actually enhance the major by taking the NUS College rigorous interdisciplinary curriculum. Think of it this way. Some students are interested in the liberal arts kind of education. Now, NUS College curriculum is more than just liberal arts. It's an interdisciplinary curriculum that invites deep engagement in seminar-style classes, small class teaching, 20 to 25 students per class. And at the same time, they will need to stay in their NUS College residences for 2 years with a residential experience and also a global pathway requirement. So the NUS College has a total of 13 courses for students to take. Then the question you may ask is that how does this fit into the curriculum structure? The major requirements, no change. It's still the same as any other student, but the NUS College requirement will replace some of the common curriculum space and replace some of the unrestricted elective space. If this is something that you have interest to you, do visit the NUS College webinar later on today. And we want our students to take full ownership of their learning. Now, we do understand that some students are very concerned that, the transition from high school, the transition from polytechnic to the university can be quite challenging. So we do have what we call a grade-free first year. What do we do in the grade-free first year? Under the grade-free first year, for your first year's courses, if you like the grade, you can keep it. This can be counted towards your graduation GPA. However, if you feel that you could have gotten an A minus at least instead of a B, then you can actually, or a C, then you can actually opt for the grade-free option. So that as long as you pass the course, which is a D, which is very manageable, the modular credit, the units will be capped, but the grades will not affect you. So this will enable students to get used to university life. And at the same time, we want our students to go out of the comfort zone, to try new courses they are interested without worrying about the grade. So that is one of the second objective of the grade-free first year. Now, there are students here in the audience, especially those in the polytechnic, that you may, enjoy the research or the practical experience. We have what we call an undergraduate research program. If you want to do research, you can actually embark on research. You don't have to wait until graduate school. In NUS, you can do research as early as your second year. And you just go to a professor and say, I would like to work with you. And he can craft out a research project together with you. And this can be counted as one of the courses that you've studied in your second year. If you enjoy the experience, you can do another research project in the third year. And then the fourth year, you have what we call the final year project, and you can opt for a research project again. And of course, we want to develop our students holistically. Now, classroom learning is one aspect. But there's other things that to develop you from the non-academic curriculum, like student and residential life, experiential learning, global opportunities, internship, and so on and so forth. And that is the framework of NUS 1. Now, NUS 1 here essentially has multiple steps. First step is to enhance your transition from polytechnic and high school to the university. And then we map out various learning opportunities that is from the non-academic angle, so that we will develop you and let you grow holistically. One aspect is, of course, our global opportunities. And you can make the world your classroom. As I've mentioned in the beginning, We have more than 350 partner universities spanning over 40 countries. You can spend one semester or even up to 1 year in this partner university. Some questions that you may have is, if I go to the partner university, does it mean that my graduation will be delayed? No. Before you go for your student exchange, there will be a professor in your faculty that will actually help you to map out the courses that you're going to take in the partner university, and so that they can be counted towards your graduation requirement. Second thing that you may be of concern is that some of the overseas university tuition fees are very expensive. Not to worry, if you go under the student exchange program, the tuition fee that you'll be paying at the partner university is still NUS tuition fee, which is heavily subsidized by the government. Some students say that one whole semester is too long. Is it possible to have a global experience but not spending one whole semester? You can make good use of your summer and winter vacations. There are summer and winter programs, 4 to 6 weeks, shorter duration, and you can go to the partner university and take a class there, so that just to have a sense about studying in a different environment. Some of you may have an entrepreneurship mindset. You wanted to be an entrepreneur, and we have exactly the program for you, which is the NUS Overseas Colleges. Now, how this program does is that this program we started more than 20 over years ago. These are for students who wanted to be an entrepreneur. So we have more than 20 different locations of NUS Overseas Colleges, and when the students go there, the students will do an internship at a startup, typically 1 semester or even up to 1 year. And then at the same time at night, the student will take classes at renowned partner universities. So far, and you get first-hand experience of life as an entrepreneur. Now, since this program has been launched, we have actually more than 4,000 students who have gone through this program, and through the process, they have founded more than 1,000 companies. And where are the places that students can go for the NUS Overseas Colleges? Now, it could be in North America, like for example, Silicon Valley, New York, Toronto. It could be in Europe, like London, Munich, Stockholm. It could be in China, or it could be in different parts of East and Southeast Asia. But I want to highlight that apart from going overseas, there is a very vibrant and exciting campus life as well. Now, for those of you who have not had a chance to come to NUS yet, especially the participants in today's webinar who are from overseas, do visit our NUS 360 degrees virtual tour, and you can actually get to have a quick overview about how the campus looks like. And there are various places you can stay on campus. Our on-campus accommodation actually is structured in 4 different modes of operation. One of them is what we call a halls of residence. Halls of residence, there are meal plans, there are places for you to stay, there are lots of activities to develop you holistically. Then we have what we call residential college. We add in an extra component of academic classes there as well. Students in residential college will take 4 courses and that can be counted towards the home faculty common curriculum requirement. We had a new residential college last year called Acacia College, and focusing on AI. AI is not just for students in the technical field. AI is also applicable for students in humanities, in business, and in other areas. NUS College has similar setup as the residential college, but it's much more than a residential college. It's actually a faculty, because apart from classes, the classes that it has is not just 4 courses, but a total of 13 courses. And in your second year and onwards, you may consider staying in the student residences. That one has more flexibility, no meal plan, so that you can explore and eat in whichever places that you want. Less activities, but there's a very vibrant international community there. And last but not least, houses. Houses, no meal plans, but there's activities focusing on co-creation, peer mentorship, and focusing on well-being. They are thematic. No classes, but they are thematic. Like we had a new house in 2025, Valor House, that emphasizes on sports. And guess what? The location of the Valor House is next to the sports complex. And of course, on campus, you're going to meet a lot of friends who will challenge you, cheer you on, and make your NUS experience unforgettable. And we want to prepare you well for your future employment. We have a Center for Future Ready Graduates that organizes programs, workshops, career fairs to prepare you for employment. Our career advisors engage our students not just in the final year, but we engage them as early as their first year because we need to signpost to the students what are the things that they should do, what are the internships that they can look at during their holidays or even during their term time as part of the professional internships of the respective programs. And because of all the preparation, we have very strong graduate employment outcome. The one on the left is about the Global Employability University Ranking and Survey. NUS came in number 8 in the world and number 1 in Asia. The one on the right is a local survey for those students who are in Singapore. Every year, the government will conduct this Autonomous University Graduate Employment Survey. And you notice that about 90% of our students found full-time employment within 6 months after graduation. So let me spend a little bit of time to talk about what are the first steps to get into the university. Now, the first thing is that, as I've mentioned in the beginning, there are a total of 8 choices that you can put down on the admission application form. Use them wisely. Now, in the first place, before you apply, look at the program prerequisites of the courses that you are interested in. Make sure that you satisfy the program prerequisite. This is to make sure that you have the necessary background in order to study that program. Like for example, if you want to study engineering, if you are in high school curriculum, then you need mathematics as high school mathematics. For Polytechnic, we have already done the work that the diploma that you have in the Polytechnic will be accredited to study the engineering program, for example. So look out for the program prerequisite. Then for Polytechnic diploma from Singapore, now what we do is that the first thing we look at, which is your Polytechnic diploma result. Now, while our admission process is holistic, that includes academic merit, meeting program prerequisite, and also your interest and aptitude. So the first thing we look at is a Polytechnic diploma results. If your results are very outstanding, then, and we are able to give you an offer immediately, we'll provide you with an offer. But then, if your results are good, but we are not able to give you an offer yet, now we don't want to deny any deserving student. We deliberately set aside sizable number of places under aptitude-based admission. And then we'll look at your achievements, we look at your answers to our short response question, and then you may be called out for interview, and then we'll assess you accordingly. So for Polytechnic students, for those of you in the audience who have not graduated with Polytechnic yet, you can apply with a semester 1 to 5 results, and we'll use this to assess you. For those of you who have already graduated from the Polytechnics, then we'll look at your final graduation GPA. Now, don't forget, NUS has a unique structure for Polytechnic diploma, first choice bonus point. Now, these are for programs without interviews or tests. Now, what are these first choice bonus points? First choice bonus point is that we want to recognize students' passion about what they want to study as their first choice. For example, if you're interested in engineering, you put down engineering as your first choice. Your Polytechnic GPA is 3.80. Then you put that as a first choice. For your first choice consideration for engineering, this will be treated like 3.84. We have a 0.04 point addition as a first choice bonus point. IB, similar idea. It's a funnel again. First cut, look at the IB results. And then after that, if we are not able to give you an offer yet, we'll look at your short response question and your achievement. There is again a first choice bonus point of 1 IB point. Now, for admission final decision, we will need the final IB results. There are students from overseas who are taking IB exams in May. Then we'll wait for your final results to come out in July before we make an admission outcome. And there are many students here with various international qualifications. International qualification, we recognize more than 30 different international qualifications. Go to the website and you can find your qualifications there. And just now I alluded about aptitude-based admission. Now, this is something to have a holistic evaluation of the students. And you can list up to 4 achievements and also answer 5 short response questions. Now, the short response questions, some students will be very concerned that are we looking for fancy-looking essay? We're not looking for fancy-looking essay. We're looking for authentic answers that will tell us who you are and what are your preparations, what are your ability. Now, the questions are very targeted, and 600 characters per questions. It's about 5 to 6 sentences. The first one is about your prior preparation for the degree program. Second one is about your resilience, how you pick yourself up from failure. Third question is we want you to be reflective and tell us what is meaningful to you and how it impacts you in a concrete way. Fourth question, your proudest achievement. And last question, tell us more that something else that you wanted us to know. And do we have scholarships? For Singapore citizens, we have a suite of different scholarships like our flagship Global Merit Scholarship, and NUS Undergraduate Scholarship. If you have special talents, special ability like sports, performing and visual arts, or AI talents, there are specific scholarships as well. For international students, these are some of the scholarships that we offer, like the ASEAN Undergraduate Scholarship for ASEAN nationality, Science and Technology Undergraduate Scholarship for students studying in a STEM discipline from Asia, NUS International Undergraduate Scholarship for truly exceptional international students, and NUS College have their own international scholarship, and there's a new scholarship that we are managing now, or that we are newly managing, is the Go Kingsway Scholarship as well. All these, you do not need to make a separate scholarship application. And the local scholarships, there's an application portal, but for the scholarship for international students, there's no need for a separate application. We'll look at your attributes and your ability based on your admission, and then we'll shortlist suitable ones for interviews in due course. And there's another aspect that is a uniquely Singapore thing, which is the MOE tuition grants. This is a substantial tuition fee subsidies. It's like a partial scholarship. Now, for all Singapore citizens, Singapore PR, they'll be offered automatically. For international students, they are offered competitively based on the merit of the application. And for international students and Singapore PR, if you have taken up the MOE tuition grant, you must work in Singapore or Singapore registered companies for 3 years after graduation. We don't specify which Singapore registered company. As long as it's a Singapore registered company, that would be good enough. And just to give you a sense about how this works, if let's say you're interested in design engineering, you're a Singapore citizen. This is last year's tuition fee. This year, it has not been out yet. Last year's tuition fee, Singapore citizen will pay $8,250 a year. Singapore permanent resident with tuition grant is $11,550. If there is no tuition grant, full fee is $39,200. And if you are international student, you take out the tuition grant, it's about 50% or more discount of the tuition fees. And we have a wide suite of financial aid here, and it comes in different forms. It could be bursaries and grants. Like, for example, for Singapore citizens, they have the government bursaries, which is the higher education community bursary, higher education bursary. We have our own NUS bursary. We also have, on-campus stay bursary, study abroad program bursary. And at the same time, if you have funds like PSEA or Mendaki tertiary tuition fee subsidies, you can use that. There are also various loans that students can use to fund their NUS education. And just to highlight, for Singapore citizens, we have what we call the NUS Enhanced Financial Aid. If the per capita income of a student is not more than $1,100, that means total income of the family divided by the number of household members. If the per capita income is not more than $1,100, essentially, you don't have to pay any fees. Government bursary will provide you with a certain amount, and at the same time, NUS bursary will top up the balance. So all students, Singaporeans, which is not more than 1,100 Singapore dollars, full coverage of tuition fees. If the PCI is not more than $750, NUS bursary will do more. It will provide $4,000 for living expenses. At the same time, they will also provide an opportunity enhancement grant. Essentially, what happened here is that they are already on-campus stay and overseas program bursary, but they don't cover everything. So for students with PCI not more than $750, they can use the opportunity enhancement grant to top up the shortfall, because we want all our students to have access to a comprehensive NUS experience. So these are the checklists. Take a look at the IGP to have a sense about the competitiveness of the various programs, and rank the choices properly, especially those with first choice bonus point, and apply. First choice bonus point is not applicable for the international qualifications. And these are the timeline where for Polytechnic Diploma, the application has already started, and the application will close on the 4th of February. So do remember to submit your applications early. And 23rd of February, you can start to apply for financial aid. 1st of February, you can start to apply for NUS scholarship. Then there will be a scholarship interview, admission and selection interview, and by end of May, all outcomes about admission and scholarship for Polytechnic Diploma will be released. Similar timeline for IB. IB, we already started the application portal, but it will close on the 23rd of February. And if you have the final IB results, everything will be released by around end of May. If you are taking the May IB exams, then the results will come out in July. And for international qualifications, again, the application portal has started on the 3rd of December. Do remember to apply until 23rd of February. And depending on when the final results are available, then it may go all the way until July for the admission outcome to be released. And stay connected with us. You can scan the QR code to be put on our mailing list. And if you have questions, you can always write in to nus.edu/ask-admissions. And just to highlight, we will be having our NUS Open House 2026. And do visit our open house. We have online sessions extensively from 28th of February to 5th of March. And there is an on-campus physical experience on the 7th of March. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Prof. Goh, for your sharing. We will now move on to the Q&A segment, and we have especially invited two NUS students, Zhan Tiam and Yi Wei, to share with us today. Zhan Tiam is a final year student from the College of Humanities and Sciences, Faculty of Arts and Social Sciences, majoring in Political Science and Chinese Studies. He is an alumnus of EM Polytechnic. Zhan Tiam completed two NUS Overseas Colleges NOC programs in Jakarta, Indonesia and Chongqing, China, respectively, where he interned at a market research startup and a startup accelerator, which developed his business acumen and soft skills while collaborating with teammates across borders. Beyond academics, Zhan Tiam is an active NUS student ambassador, and he is also the founder of C Amplified, a community and media platform dedicated to connecting youth and opportunities and possibilities in Southeast Asia. In recognition of his commitment for academic excellence and fostering an entrepreneurial mindset, he was awarded the FASS Dean's Merit Scholarship and the Philip Yor Grant. Yi Wei is a third-year student from the College of Design and Engineering with a major in landscape architecture and a minor in Chinese studies. She is an alumnus of Republic Polytechnic. Yi Wei is a member of the Landscape Architecture Collectives, LAC, and actively contributes to the Nasi Ulam Forest Garden Project, which turns manicured lawns on campus into living labs with integrated food growing functions that boost diversity, preserve socio-cultural values, and enhance educational opportunities. She is also an active NUS student ambassador. In her free time, Yiwei explores her interests in arts, such as painting and poetry, which led to her taking a Chinese literature course in NUS. I will now hand the time over to Prof. Go, who will be moderating the Q&A segment with Zhan, Tiam, and Yiwei. Prof. Go, please.
Thank you, Jia, and thank you, Chan Tiam and Yiwei for joining me. And I'm sure the audience are eager to hear from Chan Tiam and Yiwei. So I'll let Chan Tiam and then Yiwei to say hello to everyone first.
Hi, good morning, everyone. Hi, Prof. I'm Zhan Tiam. So I'm a Year 4 Political Science and Chinese Studies major at the College of Humanities and Sciences at NUS.
Okay, over to you, Yiwei.
Hello, I'm Yiwei, a Year 3 student from Landscape Architecture and minor in Chinese Studies.
Okay, good. Yeah, okay. Let's get started. Just now during my presentation, I talked about the flexibility of the NUS curriculum. Students can do a second major, can do a minor, and both Chan Tiam and Yiwei have taken this. Now, I think you may be thinking about for Chan Tiam, political science and Chinese studies sounds very different, and how did he come to this choice? And also, how does this actually blend in very nicely in the study? Yeah, over to you, Chan Tiam.
Yeah, so like for some context, because I did a diploma in Chinese studies at Niam Poly. So when I came over to NUS, I wanted to continue, studying in this area. So I took up a second major in Chinese studies. And then as for political science as my first major, because I've been interested in politics, current affairs, in social studies since secondary school, but there wasn't such an option in Poly. But when the opportunity came to apply for admissions to NUS, and I saw that, oh, there's a political science course, so I decided why not, take the leap of faith and do it as a first major. Yeah. And I think for these two majors, it complements very well because we look at politics, right? Then Chinese studies also talk about how China is rising and all that in like contemporary China classes. Yeah. And I think for both majors, it also broadened my worldview and perspectives about what is happening around the world.
That's wonderful, and I think what Chantiel has just answered one of the questions that I saw that some of the students sign up for the webinar to say that can you study something that is not related to what they study in the polytechnic when they come to NUS. I think Chantiel has just emphasize that the answer is a yes. You can even continue as a second major as well, or you can continue something that's related. And we really want to give full flexibility. I'm so glad that Chen Tian, you got a global perspective, even from your combination of political science and Chinese studies. And for Yiwei, landscape architecture is in the College of Design and Engineering, and your minor in Chinese studies, the College of Humanities and Sciences. Now, that one is quite interesting, and maybe you can tell us more about why you do this and whether this combination has benefited you.
So a design program requires me to put in time and effort to build a strong foundation to develop the skills needed to practice design in the future. Since I have always been interested in design, it's like a natural step for me to choose landscape architecture as my major. But I also find myself interested in Chinese, especially in literature. But because I didn't study Chinese study in my poly, it has been some years back since I studied Chinese, so it's a challenge for me. So because NUS provide me the flexibility to explore something else different from my major in the form of major or minor. So this encouraged me to take on something new. So I chose to take it as a minor because it allows me to explore my interests without adding too much academic stress.
So the grade 3 first year also helps you to take the plunge about doing this, right, Yiwei? So you can see that actually like Yiwei, is doing a design related diploma in the Polytechnic, so it's a continuation of design kind of concept, but you take this opportunity to grow. to branch out in things that you are interested in, something that you've always wanted to do. And this is what we are trying to provide students at the university. And that just to put things in context, now on the admission application form, there is a multidisciplinary degree programs. We have put up various packages of double major, major minor combinations, and those we have packaged it for the student. That is not everything. It's only some of these that we want to give it to you upfront to give you the assurance. And in fact, many of our students who embark on double major, major minor after they've entered the university. There's a much bigger list on major and double majors and major minor combinations, and you can choose it after you have matriculated. In fact, Zhan, Tiam, and Yi, both of you, I believe that you got your second major, your minor after you have entered university. Then the second thing is that while we package certain things for the student, we do encourage students to find a package that is something that is suitable for you. We have full flexibility for our student. And just now, Zhan Tiam talks about global perspective, and I noticed that he has gone to the NUS overseas colleges, not once, but twice, in Jakarta and in Chongqing. So you want to tell us more about NUS overseas colleges?
Yeah, sure. So I think Prof kind of mentioned in the slides earlier. So NUS Overseas Colleges is a overseas entrepreneurial experience. So you have an opportunity to intern in a startup in the overseas location and attend entrepreneurship courses in a partner university. So for me, I interned in a market research startup in Jakarta and also a startup accelerator in Chongqing, and also took some entrepreneurship and innovation courses in the local university.
So does this experience help you? So maybe you can tell us more about how does this experience impact you? Eventually.
Yeah. So I think first is really that global exposure to both Southeast Asia and China. And also I think NOC program planted the seed in me to eventually start a business. So I think in the introduction, it was mentioned that I'm a founder of Simplified. So we are like a media and community platform helping youths explore opportunities in Southeast Asia. So this seed was planted when I went for my first experience in Jakarta. Yeah, because I was so inspired by, the entrepreneurship mindset of Indonesians and, working with the founders closely, and you learn a lot of, business skills and soft skills from them as well. Yeah.
I see. So do you feel that this is a life-changing experience for you?
Yeah, I think so. And I think a lot of my friends who went on NOC, they have the similar thought. It's indeed a life-changing experience. I've never thought of starting a business at all.
I see. So I guess everything falls nicely into picture. Even your background about Chinese studies and going to China for NOC, I think it all has fall in place very nicely.
Yes.
And Yiwei, I noticed that in terms of student life, I know you are also active in the Landscape Architecture Collective. And maybe you can tell us more about your student life, because I'm sure many of the participants of today's webinar are interested about what is life as a student in NUS.
So I took part in the Nasi Una Forest Garden project, which is under the guidance of Prof. Inhe from the Landscape Architecture program. So it's an effort to connect the fragmented green spaces by forming a green corridor between Kentish Forest and Clementi Woods Park to allow more ecology passage. So within this garden, there is also many edible plant species. Through this experience, I get to learn more about the edible plant species on campus and also gain experience in garden maintenance as well as organizing events such as planting day. So I find it very relevant to my studies and it's really helpful for me.
Did it give you a different lens about what you study in the textbook, like a more like experiential thing?
So during our studio program, what we focus more on is more about the design concept, while doing this Nasi Ona Forest Garden project is more about hands-on maintenance. So you get to see how this operation actually really works.
So in short, this so-called student life activities, student group activities actually enhance your major learning as well. So this is exactly the concept that we talk about NUS 1, that we wanted learning beyond the classroom. And this is a solid example of an experiential learning, I guess. Yeah. And then I noticed that, Yiwei, since we are talking to you, now we noticed that on our application form, there are various courses that some is that needs additional interviews and selection tests. And landscape architecture, one of them. I think some of our participants in today's webinar is very concerned that, what are the things to look, how is this interview process like, what's the selection process like, maybe you can elaborate a little bit more from your experience in applying for the landscape architecture program.
So there is no admission test. However, I'm required to attend an interview as part of the selection process. So during the interview, I'm asked to share more about my portfolio. A little bit background about me is like I'm from design in user experience from RP. So what I did is focusing on UI UX major. So I didn't have much project about spatial design. But it's okay because the interview is quite fast and the interviewers are our professor teaching the programs. There isn't a lot of tough questions. They just wanted to find out more about your interest and passion for architecture or landscape architecture because what drives design is your passion. So in your portfolio, you can just share more about your works. If you have park design, you'll be definitely they are interested. But if you doesn't have, it's also okay. You can also add some sketches or graphic design and even photography to show your interest.
Okay, that's very good. I think this is very assuring. I guess the key message here is that for all these selection test interview, be yourself, be authentic, show your passion. I think that is the key advice that I will give. And in the interest of time, and I guess let me just end the session by inviting Zhan Tiam and Yi Wei to give some advice to the prospective student here, especially whether is it about the course selection, about what to do in the university, or their transition from polytechnic to university. So I invite Chan Tiam to speak first, followed by Yiwei.
Maybe I'll touch on the course selection. So I think one very common question that I've encountered as a student ambassador is, oh, my GPA doesn't seem to match the IGP and all that. Yeah, should I apply for the course and all that? And my advice is always just apply because number one, the IGP is just indicative, right? It's not like a fixed point or whatever. Yeah, and second, because right now there's the aptitude-based admissions process. So, even if your GPA isn't exactly like doesn't really meet the IGP, but when you demonstrate your passion and interest in your application and all that, you still stand a chance to, gain admission to NUS. So I think that my advice is always just apply because by applying, that is your first step, your first feet forward into, a potential education at NUS.
That is excellent advice, and if you don't apply, you will never have a chance,
Yeah, if you don't apply, then that's it.
Yes. Okay. Okay. How about you, Yiwei? You have any final last word for our participants?
I will talk about choosing your degree because those experience your student life they will be touched by your orientation program. So for choosing a degree, I think you can look through the list of program, the entire list, because there might be some program that you didn't know is being offered, or there might be new program. For example, my landscape architecture is not that well known compared to architecture. So because I scroll through the entire list, that's how I know about this program.
That's very good, very concrete and down to earth advice. Do find out more information. After all, the university education is something that is going to go with you for the rest of your life. Because, like I said in the beginning, the first degree, your first job most likely will be related to the degree that you are having. So, where to find the information? Visit our website or attend some of the webinar session for the rest of today and also visit NUS Open House. And thank you very much, Zhan Tiam, and thank you very much, Yiwei. And I'll pass the time back to Yuejia. Over to you, Yuejia.
Thank you, Prof. Go, Zhan, Tiam, and Iwei for sharing your experience, insights, and sound advice. I hope they have managed to answer your questions and clarify your doubts. With that, we have come to the end of the admissions sharing and Q&A. Thank you so much for joining us today, and we hope that this session has been helpful. If you have yet to sign up for various sharing sessions later today, register now and hear from the respective colleges, faculties, and schools. You may register via the QR code or the link provided. We are pleased to announce that the NUS Open House 2026 will take place very soon, starting with online events taking place from 28 February to 5th March, with the physical on-campus activities happening on Saturday, 7 March. Do stay tuned and check out the main NUS Open House website at nus.edu.sg/openhouse for more updates and information. We also greatly appreciate if you could take a few minutes to fill in a feedback form. You may scan the QR code or access the link that we have shared on the chat board. Your feedback is important to us. Please let us know how we can improve. Thank you once again. My colleagues and I look forward to receiving your application and warmly welcoming you to NUS. Have a great day ahead.